Hello, how are you? In this video I'll be doing the infamous anti-art style challenge. This got famous a few years ago at this point, but I don't really need something to be trending to do it, so I'll be doing it anyways, especially since I want to get out of my comfort zone, which many times before I've said that I don't really know what my comfort zone is. So I've been trying to figure that out for a while now. And here we are, still trying. So this challenge consists of me drawing the complete opposite way that I usually draw in. So let's say you draw round eyes, then you would draw like very sharp, angular eyes, which is what I did, but we'll get into that in a bit. So as you can see here, I was trying to figure out like what the actual opposite way of me drawing would be. And I have like 3 different ways of drawing eyes, but they all consist of being very detailed, so I tried simplifying that a lot. But the thing is, I already have pretty much a complete opposite way of drawing, which is these stupid little chibis, also known as silly chibis, but I prefer calling them stupid, with 2 O's, stupid. And I had to try and draw different from that still, so that was kind of complicated, but I think I got there in the end. So my idea was drawing something more angular than my chibis, but simpler than my usual way of drawing. So that's kind of what I went for. I did bigger feet and arms that honestly sort of remind me of Friday Night Funkin'. You know that game? I feel like that game's art style is very much the complete opposite of mine. Also, something else, but we'll get into that later as well. So now we will actually get into what I did differently. So the big feet and hands, right, in a very square shape specifically, because in my chibi style I do these very round, except the feet, they're just triangles. In my chibi art style and my usual art style, the hands are usually more round, which yes, I draw my hands rounder than usual, except for Jealous, but he's a different case, okay? He's different from society. So noodle arms, I tend to add bones to my drawings, right? Human beings have bones, these don't. These humans don't have bones. I went for a more triangular face, which is what I rarely do. Very angular. Because in my chibi art style, I just kind of do like a very angular, sorta, but very sharp, or big, fat cheek. You know that. So I tried not going for that and adding like a chin, since that is very different from what I usually do. I usually draw things very round, except my chibi. It's so complicated because my chibi drawings are technically the complete opposite of the way I already draw, but I wanted to not just draw that. I wanted to draw something different. So I tried figuring that out. So very sharp eyes with very few details. I usually do my eyes round and with a bit more details. They aren't as detailed as some artists, I know how to speak, draw eyes. So I tried going for something different, I guess. And also different from my chibi art style. That was very complicated. One thing I do know that I did very differently than I usually do in any case is very sharp, clean and crisp line art. You all know I don't like line art, which actually lately I've been having a better relationship with that, which is surprising. But in this drawing, the main focus will in fact be the line art. It's very present and prominent, and it calls attention because I in fact thicken the lines a lot on the main focuses, which are the boots, the hand that is reaching forward, right? That has a bit of perspective going on, and the face. So I thickened that to really call the focus onto these parts. And those lines had to be very clean, so I did that. And another thing I did differently was using saturated colors for the base. I usually start desaturated and then saturated afterwards with overlay layer modes and, you know, rendering over it, painting over it, whatnot. But in this case, I already started saturated and just went ham with it. That was a different way to think about things because everything was just very popping. Everything was popping it, and ooh, that was crazy. And another thing, as I said, I render over my drawings, right? In this case, minimal rendering with textures mostly. I've actually been missing doing textures. I don't know if you remember, but at the beginning of the year I used to add like a bunch of textures to my drawings. I kind of missed that. I don't know why I stopped. Nowadays I still add textures, but it's, you know, very in control. Except, like, even with my glitter brushes, I stopped going ham with it. I calmed down, guys. I've matured. No, where did that child in me go? No. Anyways, this drawing, very angular. I don't know why, but it gives me... This is what I was talking about at the beginning. This is the other thing. Other than Friday Night Funkin', it gives me Kick Buttowski vibes. Does anyone still remember that cartoon? Maybe Selena, which is who I am drawing in this illustration here. That's my character, Selena. If you want to know more about my OCs, I have highlighted stories on my Instagram profile, and also I finally started my Tumblr account. I just don't say it anywhere because I don't know why, honestly. It's very personal at that place, so if you hear this here and you want to check it out, you can. I probably won't, like, I don't know, promote it anywhere other than in the midst of a video. Anyways, what was I saying? Oh yeah, maybe Selena is a skater girl in this universe. I don't know, maybe. She could be. Maybe. And I didn't actually suffer as much as I wanted to. Not that I'm a masochist or anything, okay? No, don't be like that. But I want to get out of my comfort zone the way, like, that I'm frustrated and trying to figure things out, and that something isn't just easy. I want some complications, okay? Everything is just always so easy to me, and I'm tired of that. I'll still be able to get there. I'll get out of my comfort zone the way that I want at some point, and I don't know. Actually, I had done this drawing because I have something planned that will probably also push me out of my comfort zone in a way. That will happen soon, hopefully, you know. So I had done this to sort of prepare myself for that, but that didn't really go as planned. This was very easy. Let's see, maybe the next one I will actually suffer. I don't know. I thought that I would suffer with this one, but then for the next one, which I think that I will suffer more, I wouldn't suffer as much. So, like, my suffering levels are all sort of in control and even. That didn't happen, so let's see what will happen next time. I think that this little initial sketch, this ugly fella right here, is actually really cute. I had made it to figure out exactly the way that would be the opposite of what I draw, like what is this art style and what does it look like, other than just figuring out the opposite of each element of the way I draw at the beginning, which you've seen, the way I draw eyes and hands and arms and legs and torsos and hair and whatnot, whatever. I think that this one looks very cute. Maybe I should have actually cleaned it up and made a full drawing of it, but I didn't, so that's something. In the end, this drawing, this that you see here on screen, it turned out good. Is this what should happen in these videos? I think that people actually suffer in these and have a hard time. I believe I succeeded. What do you think? Maybe I should have forced myself to not use purple. You know that I'm a purple girly. But purple is part of Selena's color palette, so, I couldn't actually let it go. I don't know. I have no idea why. I don't know why lately I've had this thing for drawing Selena just grabbing her rose crown. I'm pretty sure that in the last video I drew the exact same thing. It just came over me. Maybe she just has to grab onto her rose crown as she moves around. Which would make sense, right? If she just has a rose crown on her head. Did you know that she wears this rose crown actually because her biological father gave it to her right before horrible things happened and she lost him and he lost her and, stuff. I should actually talk about this at some point. I have all these stories. It's all the same story. I have these visions and these parts of my story that I just never share with anyone, and I should, because people don't know what's going on except for me. And here I am just talking about it anyways. Selena wears her rose crown because her biological father gave it to her, and it became pretty much part of her. At some point, I'm pretty sure that this rose crown was actually creating roots on her head. Let's just not go with that. I did add lots of textures afterwards, which is something I've been missing, right? You remember, as you can see, somewhere around here at this point, I'm adding these usual like dots textures. These were very cool. It just feels weird because I know this is not my art style, but it was so easy that it doesn't feel right to say that I have succeeded at this challenge. It just feels wrong. But I don't know. Please tell me, did I succeed? I don't know. Right, let's get into a bit of a channel talk here. I've been participating in Inktober this year after like 3 years? 2 years? No, 3 years, yeah. And I want to make weekly Inktober videos. I want to show you all what I've been making weekly. But the thing is, should I do these videos on Mondays or Fridays? Because this is coming out on Monday, so I could make the Inktober video on Friday and then continue it each Friday until Inktober ends. But I don't know, it feels weird because, my channel banner says, oh, I post on Mondays and Fridays if I feel like it. So I don't really know what to do with that. I might post on Fridays though. And which means that we won't have Monday videos because I've been so busy this entire month that I've been drawing double as much as I've ever had for something I'm studying up for Inktober and for YouTube videos, and that's a lot of drawing that I have to do, and I can't, okay? I don't know if you've noticed, but my drawings, despite being quite simple, they are also quite detailed. That does not help me in my case, so I don't really know, but I might post videos on Fridays from now. I'll make a community post because not everyone reaches this far into my videos, which honestly, I don't judge you. I wouldn't either. But anyways, here is the finished result, right? Tell me down below if you think I succeeded. I think I did, but it feels weird saying that, so I don't really know. In the end, I do think that it looks good. I like the way it looks cute. It gives me Friday Night Funkin' vibes with Kinky Butowski. Selena as a skater girl, very fun. But either way, this turned out great. It was way too easy, so I'm afraid of what's coming next in these out of my comfort zone challenges. But either way, I hope you have a nice day and night, and I'm actually pointing at you, okay? And I hope to see you next time. Bye!